Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Imagine this. You've just finished your appointment at the doctor's office. You step outside, maybe onto a busy sidewalk or a quiet parking lot, and the questions start coming by one, like little raindrops. Did you remember to ask about that ache in your chest? Did you mention the strange swelling in your ankle, or that breathlessness you feel after a flight of stairs? Did you forget to bring up the pain that comes and goes, the one that nags at you during the night? For so many of us, especially as we age, these questions don't come when we're sitting in front of the doctor. They come afterward, when we're already home or when it's too late to ask. You are not alone in this. In fact, you are in good company. Over the years, I have spoken with hundreds of seniors who share the same experience walking out of the clinic, feeling that maybe, just maybe, they left something important unsaid. Maybe they were rushed. Maybe they felt embarrassed. Maybe they simply didn't know what to ask until much later. The truth is, for seniors, every doctor's visit is not just a checkup, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to take back control of your health, your independence, your future. But how do we do that when there is so much to remember and so much on the line? Today, I want to talk to you about something that is rarely discussed but could truly save your life, the life of someone you love. We are diving deep into one of the most overlooked dangers facing people over 60, pulmonary embolism, or PE. The term may sound intimidating, maybe even a little too clinical. But let's break it down together, because the real danger is not in the word sets, in what happens if we miss the warning signs. A pulmonary embolism is simply a blood clot that travels to the lungs. Sometimes it strikes like lightning sudden, without much warning. Sometimes it creeps in quietly, its symptoms disguised as the usual aches, pains, and fatigue we chalk up to normal aging. That's what makes it so risky. You might think it's just a bad night's sleep, a minor cough, a little swelling from a long walk. But PE can become life-threatening in the blink of an eye. Now, before you feel overwhelmed, let's pause for some good news. This is not a message meant to scare you. It's a message about hope, about the incredible power of asking the right questions. Questions that can catch problems before they start, help you avoid unnecessary risks, and empower both you and your loved ones to act quickly when something feels off. Imagine sitting down with your doctor and feeling confident. You have your notebook in hand, a cup of tea at your side, and you know exactly what to ask. By the end of today's conversation, that will be you. I'll share 5 life-saving questions, stories from real seniors who faced this challenge, and a simple, clear plan for your next appointment. These aren't just good questions. They are game changers. They could be the difference between catching a problem early or facing a crisis unprepared. You might be thinking, but I don't want to be a difficult patient. Let's flip that idea on its head. You are not difficult, you are your own best advocate. You know your body better than anyone. Your health is too precious to leave to chance. It's not about questioning your doctor's expertise. It's about partnering with them for your well-being. Let's start this journey together. Grab your notebook, pour yourself something warm to drink, and settle in. This is your time to learn, to prepare, and to become the CEO of your own health. Whether you are facing your own doctor's visit, supporting a loved one, or just looking to understand more, know that you're not alone. We'll move step by step, building not just knowledge, but confidence. Let's dive in. First, let's demystify this pulmonary embolism. What is it, really? And why does it matter so much, especially for those of us in our 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond? At its most basic, a pulmonary embolism is a blood clot, small clump of cells that get stuck in one of the arteries of your lungs. Most often, these clots form far away from the chest, deep in the veins of your legs or pelvis. They travel through your bloodstream, and when they reach the narrow vessels in your lungs, they get lodged, blocking blood flow. Suddenly, your blood can't pick up enough oxygen. Your heart starts working harder to compensate. The result? Breathlessness, chest pain, fatigue, and in severe cases, a sudden, life-threatening crisis. Why does this matter so much for people over 60? Well, as we age, the risks pile up. We tend to move less, especially after surgery or an illness. We take more medications, Simicin blood thinners, sometimes hormone therapies, sometimes cancer treatments that can make clots more likely. Our veins, like the rest of our bodies, become a bit weaker, causing blood to pool and flow more slowly. All of these factors can make clots more common and more dangerous, and yet the symptoms are sneaky. You might feel a bit winded after climbing the stairs, or notice a mild cough that doesn't seem to go away. Maybe your leg is a little swollen, or you get a sharp pain in your chest when you breathe deeply. These symptoms can seem minor to explain away as just getting older. But let me share a true story. Evelyn, a vibrant woman of 77, had just finished recovering from routine knee surgery. For weeks, she felt tired and short of breath. She assumed it was just part of aging, or maybe a slow recovery. Then one morning, as she was pouring her coffee, she collapsed. A blood clot had traveled from her leg to her lung, causing a pulmonary embolism, thanks to quick thinking from her family and fast action from her doctors. Evelyn survived. She later told me, "I wish I'd known the signs. I wish someone had told me to ask more questions." This is why we must never brush off. Changes in our body, no matter how small they seem. A little swelling, a new cough, unusual fatigues are all reasons to dig deeper. And when we ask smart, specific questions at our doctor's office, we empower ourselves to catch these dangers early. So let's move forward together. With knowledge, awareness, and the right questions, you can protect yourself and the people you love from dangers that hide in plain sight. Question number 1. What are my personal risk factors? Let's talk about the first and perhaps most powerful question you can bring to your doctor. Given my health, history, and lifestyle, what are my personal risk factors for pulmonary embolism? Now, you might be tempted to accept the usual reassurance. You're fine. Your vitals are good. Don't worry. But here's the truth. No two people share the same story, and risk is personal. That's why your health journey deserves a conversation, not just a checklist. Pulmonary embolism, as we've learned, often starts with a clot elsewhere in the body, commonly in the deep veins of the legs or pelvis. While aging itself is a risk factor, it's the combination of your life's unique details that shapes your true risk. So what are those details? Start by thinking about recent surgeries or hospital stays. Were you immobile for days or weeks? Even a short period in bed after an operation or recovering from an illness can let blood pool and thicken in your veins, increasing clot risk. Then there are chronic conditions. Cancer, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune conditions each can add to your vulnerability. And what about your family? Has anyone ever been diagnosed with a blood clot, deep vein thrombosis, or a clotting disorder? Genetics matter more than you might realize. Medications are another crucial piece. Maybe you're on hormone therapy for menopause or taking certain cancer drugs, or using birth control. These can quietly raise your risk. Blood pressure medications, steroids, and even some over-the-counter remedies might play a role. Don't forget to include your personal history. Have you ever had swelling or pain in your calf, unexplained redness, or a previous DVT? Have you traveled long distances, sitting still for hours on a plane or bus? Even recent illnesses like COVID-19, which can increase clotting, belong on your list. Let me share a real-world example. Walter, age 69, was planning a trip to see his daughter overseas. He had mild swelling in his left leg, but didn't think much of it after all. It wasn't painful, and he assumed it was just age. At his next checkup, he casually mentioned his trip and the swelling. His doctor asked more questions, listened carefully, and flagged Walter for closer monitoring. That awareness, sown small. Honest conversation caught a blood clot early and prevented a potentially fatal crisis. So, before your next appointment, take time to jot down everything croissant changes, medications, hospitalizations, and those little symptoms you might have brushed off. No detail is too small. When you arrive at your doctor's office, you'll be ready to have a real, meaningful discussion that can make all the difference. Let your curiosity lead. Ask, given my unique health and lifestyle, what should I be watching for? Are there ways to lower my personal risk? Because here's the truth. Many risk factors for pulmonary embolism are manageable, but only if you know about them. When you step into your doctor's office prepared and informed, you are not just another patient. You are an active partner in your own health, a person who refuses to let silent threats go unnoticed. Remember, your story is yours alone. Make sure it's told completely, with nothing left out. Question number 2. What warning signs should I never ignore? Now, let's imagine you're back home, days or weeks after your checkup. Life is moving along, you're tending the garden, meeting friends, playing with your grandkids. Suddenly, you feel off. Maybe it's a heaviness in your chest, a shortness of breath, or a racing heartbeat. Maybe you notice your legs swelling, or you cough up something tinged with blood. Would you know when these are signs to wait or signs to call for help right now? This is why the second question is so critical. What signs and symptoms of pulmonary embolism should I look out for, and when should I seek help right away? You see, PE is a master of disguise. Its symptoms are often mistaken for everyday issues. A pulled muscle, a bad night's sleep, or just getting older. But there are warning signs that should never be ignored: sudden or unexplained shortness of breath. If you find yourself gasping after only mild activity, or even at rest, pay attention. Sharp, stabbing chest pain, especially if it worsens when you take a deep breath or cough. A persistent cough, sometimes with blood-tinged sputum, swelling, redness, or warmth in one leg, often the calf, which could mean a clot is forming. A rapid or irregular heartbeat, dizziness, or fainting. Remember Linda, age 72, who always felt tired after gardening. One afternoon, her heart started racing and she felt a stabbing pain in her chest. She listened to her gut and dismissed it as just getting older and went to urgent care. Her quick thinking caught a clot in time and she returned home. Healthy, grateful she hadn't waited. Here's a practical step. Write down these warning signs. Put them on your fridge, beside your bed, or in your wallet. Share them with those who live with you and with friends and family. Make sure everyone knows when to call your doctor or the emergency room. These symptoms don't always happen at the same time, and you don't need all of them to act. Even just one is enough to seek urgent help. Doctors and nurses would rather see you safe and reassured than have you delay and face a crisis. Never worry about being a bother. Your health is worth every phone call. So the next time you see your doctor, ask directly, what should I never ignore? What are my red flags? Write their answers down. You may never need them, but if you do, you'll be glad you were prepared. Question number 3. What can I do now to prevent pulmonary embolism? Let's shift from the warning signs to the power you hold right now. This isn't just about waiting for symptoms or hoping for the best. Prevention's small, practical steps in your daily life is your strongest shield. You deserve to feel in control, not helpless. The question to bring to your doctor is, what practical steps can I take, starting today, to lower my risk of pulmonary embolism? The beauty of prevention is that it often requires little things done consistently. not grand gestures or overwhelming changes. Each one, done daily, becomes a gift to your future self. Let's start with movement. It doesn't matter if you run marathons or prefer a gentle stroll. Staying active is your body's best defense against blood clots. This can be as simple as chair yoga, slow laps around the living room, stretching your ankles while watching TV, or rising to stand up every hour when reading or doing puzzles. The key is to avoid long periods of stillness. Think of Harold, age 80. After heart surgery, he was scared to move, worried he'd strain himself or make his recovery harder. But he learned that even gentle walking laps around his living room, 5 minutes, several times a day, boosted his strength, his mood, and dramatically reduced his risk for clots. His story inspired his neighbors. Soon, the whole building joined his daily lap challenge, cheering each other on, even from their doorways. Another preventive measure: compression stockings. These aren't just for fashion or cold weather. Worn after surgery, on long flights, or during illness. They gently squeeze your legs, keeping blood moving and discouraging clots. They're simple, effective, and your doctor can recommend the right kind and fit. Stay hydrated. Drinking enough water, especially when traveling or if you're sick, keeps your blood flowing smoothly. Dehydration makes blood thicker and more likely to clot, so don't wait until you're thirsty. Make it a habit to keep a water bottle nearby and sip often. Medications can also play a vital role, especially if you've ever had a clot before, or if you're at high risk after surgery. Blood thinners taken exactly as prescribed can save lives. Don't skip doses, and always ask your doctor what to do if you miss one or have side effects. Elevating your legs, particularly if you must sit for long stretches, can help too. Place your feet on a stool or pillow, wiggle your toes, rotate your ankles, or march in place every hour. Maybe you're thinking, is it really worth it to do these tiny things? Let me assure you, it is. The science is clear, and so are the stories from real people. Every gentle movement, every glass of water, every little routine is a powerful act of self-care. If you love checklists, here's one to keep by your favorite chair: move every hour, even for just 2 minutes. Drink water throughout the day. Use compression stockings when advised. Take medications as prescribed. Elevate your legs during long sitting sessions. Stretch your feet and ankles while reading or watching TV. But don't try to remember all this alone. Ask your doctor for a personalized prevention plan, especially before any surgery, long car rides, or travel. Let your family and friends know your plan. Turn prevention into a shared routine. You'll inspire others, and it won't feel like a lonely chore. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and your loved ones is to treat prevention as a priority, not an afterthought. It's never too late to start. As Harold learned, even small daily efforts add up to big results over time. Question number 4. What tests should I know about, and when are they needed? Let's talk about testing detective work doctors use to find, confirm, or rule out pulmonary embolism. Understanding what tests exist and when to request them helps. You advocate for yourself with clarity and confidence. This is your next question. If I ever have symptoms, what tests will help confirm or rule out pulmonary embolism, and how will I get them quickly? Diagnosing PE isn't always straightforward. Its symptoms can look like a dozen other issues: pneumonia, anxiety, heart problems, even simple muscle strain. That's why clear communication with your doctor is so important. Here are the main tests. You might encounter colon.DDI-MER blood test. This checks for fragments produced when a blood clot dissolves. If your dimer is normal, a clot is very unlikely. But if it's high, you may need more tests since dimer can rise for many reasons, including infection or recent surgery. Ultrasound. This safe, painless test uses sound waves to look for clots in the deep veins of your legs, DVT, where most PEs begin. CT pulmonary angiography. Considered the gold standard, this special scan uses contrast dye to make clots in your lungs visible. It's quick and highly accurate. Ventilation Perf VQ scan. You can't have a CT scan, perhaps because of dye allergies or kidney problems. This test uses safe, tiny tracers to see how air and blood flow through your lungs. Agnes, age 76, experienced a wave of chest pain after coming home from a short hospital stay. She called her doctor, who immediately ordered a CT scan. The diagnosis was swift. Treatment began right away, and her recovery was smoother because there was no delay. The lesson: when in doubt, insist on clear answers. Ask your doctor, if I notice warning signs, how quickly can these tests be arranged? What should I do if symptoms strike at night or while traveling? Find out if your local hospital or clinic can perform these tests without delay. And what steps to take if you're far from home. Write these instructions down or have your doctor print them for you. Keep them with your medical documents, so you or a family member can act without hesitation if the need arises. Knowing about these tests is not about living in fear. It's about being prepared and confident, ready to partner with your doctor for the best possible care. Question number 5. What's my emergency plan? Who do I call and what should I bring? Now, let's talk about something most of us hope will never need an emergency plan. No one enjoys thinking about what to do in a crisis, but the reality is that a well-prepared plan can mean the difference between fear and calm, between confusion and decisive action, between risk and rescue. This isn't about living in anxiety, it's about giving yourself peace of mind and the power to act quickly if the moment ever comes. So here's your vital question to bring to your next doctor's appointment. If I ever suspect a pulmonary embolism, what's my exact plan of action? Who should I call? What information do I bring? And how do I explain my risk at the ER? Let's break this down into practical steps you can set up in just one afternoon. First, keep a written list of your medications, allergies, diagnoses, and emergency contacts. This can be a single sheet of paper in your wallet, taped to your fridge, or stored on your phone. Make sure it's clear, current, and easy to grab. Emergency responders and hospital staff will thank you and you'll get faster, safer care. Second, consider a medical alert bracelet or necklace if you have a history of clots, recent surgery, or are taking blood thinners. There are also small cards you can keep in your wallet that list your conditions and what medicines you take. These simple tools can speak for you if you ever can't speak for yourself. Third, ask your doctor for a printout or summary of your specific risk factors. Did you recently have surgery? Are you on blood thinners, or do you have an inherited clotting disorder? Having a summary to show at the emergency room saves precious time and ensures no detail is missed. Fourth, know which hospital or urgent care is closest to you and how to get there fast. If you travel often, look up medical centers in the cities you visit and share that information with family. If you live alone, consider sharing a key or door code with a trusted neighbor or friend who could assist you. Fifth, rehearse your script. It might sound silly, but in the heat of a crisis, it helps to know exactly what to say. Practice. I have a history of blood clots, and I'm worried about a pulmonary embolism. Here are my symptoms and my medical summary. The more confidently you can communicate, the faster you'll get the right attention. Let's bring this to life with a story. Sam, age 83, has always been a planner. After a minor scare a few years ago, he started keeping a small folder by his door. Inside were copies of his medical records, a list of symptoms to watch for, his medication list, and contact details for his daughter and primary doctor. One spring afternoon, while tending his tomato plants, Sam noticed a strange shortness of breath different from anything he'd felt before. Remembering his plan, he calmly called for help, handed his folder to the paramedics, and was quickly treated. treated for a developing clot. The ER staff said his preparedness saved valuable minutes and ensured he got exactly the right care. His daughter later told friends, "Dad didn't panic. He was ready, and that made all the difference." Your action steps can be just as simple and powerful. Prepare your medical list and keep it visible. Get a summary of your pay risk from your doctor. Share your emergency plan with loved ones. Know your nearest hospital and how to get there. Practice your emergency script and encourage your family to do the same. You can also add your emergency information to your smartphone's lock screen. Using the Medical ID feature mini, responders look for this right away. Remember, a plan is not just for you. It's a gift to your loved ones, taking away guesswork in stressful moments. When everyone knows what to do, worry fades, and action becomes natural. Let this planning bring you a sense of strength, not fear. It's a way to say, "I respect my health, and I'm ready to protect it." The more prepared you are, the more peace you can have, knowing you're never caught off guard. Let's take a deep breath and look back at how far you've come today. You've moved from uncertainty to understanding, from passive waiting to active planning. You now hold 5 essential questions, simple, powerful, and potentially life-saving for your next doctor's appointment. Point 1. What are my personal risk factors for pulmonary embolism? 2. What symptoms and warning signs should I watch for? Point 3. How can I prevent PEI in my daily life? 4. What tests will help confirm or rule out PEI, and how do I access them quickly? 5. What's my emergency plan? Who do I call? And what do I bring? Take a moment to let these settle in. You are now equipped to be not just a patient, but a true partner in your own healthcare journey. Remember, you are the CEO of your health. No one knows your body like you do. The most successful, resilient seniors are not the ones who stay silent or hope for the best, are the ones who speak up. Stay curious and make their well-being a daily priority. Share these questions with Kundari Sini. Share these questions with those you love. Bring a trusted friend or family member to appointments. Don't hesitate to write down your doctor's answers or ask them to repeat the most important points. Make it a habit to review your notes after every visit and update your emergency plan when your health or medications change. Let me leave you with a final motivation. Every question you ask is an act of courage and self-care. Every note you take is a step toward more years of independence, joy, and peace of mind. You are not just a patient, you are a champion for your own health and well-being. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more empowering senior-focused health tips. Tell us in the comments, what question will you ask your doctor at your next appointment? Your story may help someone else feel seen, heard, and empowered. You are never too old to ask, to learn, or to protect your health. Stay strong, stay engaged, and keep living your best life. Thank you for being with me today. Your health journey is important. You're never walking it alone. I'll see you in the next video, where your well-being will always come first. As we reach the end of our conversation today, I invite you to pause with me for a moment right here, in the calm, after so much learning and sharing. Let's take a breath together. Inhale deeply, hold it for a second, and let it out with a sense of release. You've just given yourself the gift of knowledge, and that is a powerful act of self-respect. Maybe as you've listened, you've been reminded of your own story. Maybe you've thought of a loved ONIA partner, a friend, a parent, or even your own children could benefit from these questions and this gentle awareness. Or maybe, like so many, you've sometimes felt lost in the shuffle of doctors' visits, medical jargon, and the busy world of healthcare. Let me reassure you, you are not alone, and it's never too late to begin again. You see, the wisdom of health is not about memorizing facts or living in fear or becoming a medical expert overnight. It's about learning to listen to your body, to your intuition, and to the experiences you've gathered along the way. It's about realizing that you don't have to have all the answers. You just need the right questions and the courage to ask them. And it's about claiming your place at the center of your healthcare journey, not as a bystander, but as a true partner, curious, confident, and valued. Think of all the seasons you've lived through, the challenges, the victories, the lessons learned. Every ache, every scare, every triumph has prepared you for this very moment. Now you have 5 essential questions in your toolkit. You have stories from people like Evelyn, Walter, Linda, Harold, Agnes, and Samuel, people just like you, who found their way by being curious, persistent, and prepared. Their stories are now part of your story, and their courage can inspire your next steps. Let's reflect together on the journey we've taken. We started by breaking down the mystery of pulmonary embolism, learning that it's not just a big medical word, but a real danger that can hide behind ordinary symptoms. We talked about risk, not in a way that inspires fear, but in a way that empowers you to ask, what's true for me right now in my unique body and life? We learned to recognize warning signs and to honor our intuition if something feels off, even if others might dismiss it as just getting older. We discovered the strength of prevention, those tiny daily acts like walking, hydrating, and stretching that become a legacy of self-care. We demystified medical tests, transforming them from something confusing or intimidating into tools you can request and understand. And finally, we made a plan, a clear, simple emergency plan that turns panic into action and gives you and your loved ones the confidence to act, not freeze. But perhaps the most important lesson is this: you are the CEO of your own health. You have the right to ask, to learn, to double-check, to change your mind, and to keep asking until you feel safe and informed. Doctors, nurses, and caregivers are your partners. When you speak up, you make their work easier, and you improve your own care at the same time. So, where do you go from here? First, share what you've learned. Don't keep these questions to yourself. Call a friend or family member. Share a meal and talk about what you heard. Print out the questions and stick them on the fridge. Tuck them in your wallet or post them near your favorite chair. If you belong to a church group, community center, or club, suggest sharing this information at your next gathering. Every person who learns these steps is one more link in a chain of health and safety. Second, bring someone with you. If you have a doctor's appointment coming up, invite a family member or friend to come along. They can help you remember what you want to ask and what the doctor says in response. Sometimes just having a second set of ears makes all the difference. Third, practice self-kindness. You won't remember everything. You'll have days when you forget to move or leave your medical summary at home or feel too tired to speak up. That's okay. Health is not a straight line, it's a dance. What matters is not perfection, but presence. Every step you take toward understanding your body and your needs is a step toward more years of independence, joy, and peace. Let me tell you a story about resilience. Years ago, I met a woman named Myra at a senior center. She had lived through the loss of her husband, a cancer diagnosis, and the challenge of living alone after 70. For a long time, Myra felt invisible at the doctor's office. Her questions brushed aside, her concerns minimized. Then one day, she heard a talk like this. She left with a list of questions and a new sense of courage. At her next appointment, she asked every single one. She didn't always get perfect answers, but she got attention. Her doctor started listening, and so did she. Myra became known in her community as the Question Queen. Her energy, her smile, and her confidence inspired everyone around her, reminding us that age is never a barrier to advocacy. You, too, can be that person for your family and friends. You can be the one who speaks up, who makes a plan, who shows others that asking questions is an act of love, not just for yourself, but for everyone who cares about you. Here's your gentle challenge as you go forward: 1. Choose one question from today's list and commit to asking it at your next medical visit. 2. Write down one change you'd like to make in your prevention. Routine, maybe more water, more movement, or keeping your emergency info handy. 3. Share one thing you learned with someone else. Help them. And help yourself by keeping this conversation going. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel. For more real-world, senior-focused health guidance, click like to let us know you want more content like this. Share your own questions and stories in the comments. Your voice could help someone else find courage, clarity, or hope. And if you ever feel nervous or alone on your health journey, remember this: every time you ask a question, you are not just gathering information, you are reclaiming power. Every time you share your story, you light the way for someone else. As the sun sets on this conversation, I wish you peace, strength, and an abundance of joyful days. Take care of your precious body. Trust your intuition. And never, ever stop asking for what you need and deserve. Thank you for letting me share this time with you. I look forward to meeting you again right here, where your health, your wisdom, and your voice always matter. Until next time, walk forward bravely. Your best days are still ahead.